Mm. Mm.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
This is so good. Who made this?
I actually made it all by yourself.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Where'd you get the recipe?
On TikTok.
Oh, my God! Oh, ugh. The hell's the matter with you? Don't you worry about AIDS?
Do you like fun and adventure? Then sit back and enjoy the Brothers Not Lovers as they discuss all things movies. What's overrated or underrated? What makes you go really? Or how dare you? Or even just simply how funny this movie can be. You have the insightful, intuitive Davey, who is awesome. And you have the film bestie, Josh. He's there.
Hi, I'm Davey. I'm awesome. And this is Josh, the film bestie. And this is Overrated, Underrated.
Now, hold on.
What?
I got a thriller of a surprise for you, Alpha Dog. You see, we've both been invited to Muriel's wedding at the Alamo. And Yo-Yo Girl Cop is going to be playing security at the boarding gate. So if you've got the balls of fury, then in the morning you will meet me at the Breakfast Club. And we will meet up with Mrs. Doubtfire. But after that, I gotta split. Because I'm meeting the critic in time to make a deep impact on the audience. That way I can get kissed by the showgirls. Like a real rock and roller. So, say hi to Willow for me before the Langoliers show up and give you the shivers. Because the last thing you want is Petticoat Planet.
That was dumber than the last one.
And that stuff is tight.
This is Overrated, Underrated, where we discuss movies that we feel are overrated or underrated. So, I guess I'll start us off with the overrateds or underrateds. For my first movie that I felt was incredibly underrated. Great
Do tell, old sport.
Okay. The remake of Willard, starring Crispin Glover. Freaking awesome movie.
Better than the original.
I have to agree with you there. Although the original is a classic. And pretty good. But this one didn't get the respect or play it deserved. It was critically bashed. In fact, one website gave it a D-. How dare you? Because people were like, oh, it wasn't what we expected. We thought it was going to be more kills and thrills. Who cares? It was a great movie. It was intense. You felt for Willard.
And Crispin Glover sang to the rat. In fact, he did it better than Michael Jackson did.
Honestly, I did like his version of Ben better than Michael Jackson's. And not saying a lot, because I was a big Michael Jackson fan growing up.
Me too. But if you want to be starting something, you'll bash this movie to our faces.
That would be bad. I would have to tell them to beat it.
Just look at the man in the mirror and ask him. Ask him to make you scream.
You know, it's just the way it is, dude. People bash things they don't understand. It's human nature.
Billie Jean did that.
At the Thriller, that was when I stopped saying the girl is mine.
It's just another part of me, Davey.
So, if you're bashing Willard, you can just leave me alone.
Keep it in the closet.
Because seriously, I remember the time when movies were either liked or not liked. It was black or white.
Can you feel it? You know what? I blame it on the boogie.
I saw the commercials for this movie and I was like, man, I want to rock with you.
I took Dirty Diana to see it.
She was a smooth criminal.
Let's come together now. Hey, watch it, Speed Demon. We're filming. I think your wife is getting annoyed.
It's okay. But although we should probably wrap this up because her getting too annoyed is dangerous.
I think we're good.
Free Willy song. So yeah, Willard was underrated.
Earth Song. Oh, sorry, we're done with that.
Yeah, seriously.
It's my turn.
Yeah, you gotta think about that. It's the way you make me feel, Josh.
Easy PYT. Ugh. For my very overrated Field of Dreams. Look, I get this is a movie that had Ray Liotta in it, but that movie was just... Ugh. Not everything Kevin Costner touched was gold. Okay? In fact, Bull Durham wasn't even gold. The thing that made that gold was Susan Sarandon's sexy self. But the rest of the movie was awful.
But as far as Field of Dreams goes, I couldn't agree with you more.
Cheerio, old sport.
I know it's one of those classics that people swear by, like, it's so good, it's so good. And I'll admit, I wasn't all that into seeing it because I'm just not a big sports guy, especially baseball. Honestly, I think I'd rather go to a laundromat and just watch the laundry go around and around in a dryer than watch baseball. It's an okay story, it's just, if you're not a baseball fanatic, then how could you enjoy this movie?
In my opinion, what sold this movie was that catchphrase in it, if you build it, they will come.
Yeah, sure.
That's about it.
But yeah, and everybody talking about like it's I get the story, it's a sweet story of him reconnecting with his dead dad, okay. But again, if you're not a baseball fanatic, then there's really no way to enjoy this movie. This movie was made for baseball fans. And what I can't stand is baseball fans won't admit that. Field of Dreams, I agree with you. Incredibly overrated. It's a baseball movie, and if you like baseball, then great. You like Field of Dreams, but
If you like baseball, you like people going, yeah, cut the ball, I know the ball.
they talk about it like it's Rocky. Like, you don't have to be into boxing to enjoy Rocky. But this one, you have to be into that sport to care about it.
Yeah.
You know, like I wouldn't expect a non-wrestling fan to want to watch No Holds Barred. Okay, yes, I would, because that movie's so awesomely bad, but still.
Okay. Well, we like The Sandlot.
Yes.
That doesn't mean we like baseball.
Right, but this one, I felt differently about it. I felt like if you don't like baseball, you don't connect to this movie.
You review baseball movies like a girl!
What did you say?
You heard me.
Tomorrow, noon, at my review field. It's your funeral.
Count on it, puke face.
That was fun, but yeah, Field of Dreams, I agree with you. Overrated. For my next overrated, one that I know is going to get me a little bit of flack, but I honestly felt was incredibly overrated. I respect it for creating a genre of movies that I've enjoyed since, but I'm sorry, in my opinion, Animal House is very overrated. Like, again, I respect that it created the college movie genre, but in and of itself, it wasn't that great. It wasn't that funny. It was just kind of, eh. It wasn't John Belushi's best. That was Blues Brothers, but yeah.
Just keep talking. Son of a bitch. Motherless.
Well, seriously, what was so great about it? Because they had a toga party? Because they had frat boys?
Kevin Bacon got spanked.
Okay, I will give you that. Kevin Bacon was good in that movie, but
I didn't
everything...
say he was good old sport. I said he got spanked.
Everything's good with some bacon in it, but it wasn't the great comedy that people have hailed it as for years and years and years. I'm sure when it first came out that it was that funny because it was shocking to people, but my generation seeing things like that all over the place, National Lampoon making movie after movie after movie,
Odin, All-Father, who rules Valhalla.
You are not a Viking, you knock it off!
Save me from murdering this man for the insult and the blasphemy he speaks.
Seriously, stop watching Vikings.
I will never stop.
Yes, you will, as soon as you're done with the seasons.
I'm actually watching it for the third time.
Okay, but something else will come along and you'll start annoying me with that one.
Yeah, well, I'd rather burn in hell with this movie of my forebearers than to spend a moment in heaven with you now.
So I guess that's your way of saying you disagree?
Yeah, kinda.
I don't know, I just don't think it was as great as people said it was. It had some funny moments, and again, I get it created that genre, so if it wasn't for that movie, we wouldn't have movies like Van Wilder.
If it hadn't been for that movie, we never would have seen Beverly D'Angelo's in the shower.
Okay, I said I respect that it created a genre of movies. If it wasn't for Animal House, we wouldn't have had movies like National Lampoon's Vacation, or European Vacation, or Vegas Vacation, or Christmas Vacation, or any of the other vacation movies where they should have stopped.
They should never stop.
Really? You liked the last one? With Rusty?
I don't
all
count
grown
that
up?
last one.
You liked the one with just Randy Quaid being stuck on an island?
Yeah, I kind of like that one.
And I get that we also wouldn't have the American Pie movies, but still.
Yes, and we still would not have had Jane Krakowski telling us that her daddy made out best with her.
Yes, okay, so I respect it, but I think it was something that everybody was loving and it sparked a thing, but then, okay, it wasn't a timeless classic. It was not a movie that aged well.
I disagree.
Because in my opinion, if you weren't born around that time and you weren't there when it first popped into theaters, you probably don't even care for it. Overrated.
No. It is my turn. Thank you, old sport. For our next underrated, Zack and Miri make a porno. What do you think?
I agree with you. It's underrated.
Very much so. Not enough people saw this movie because they were a little thrown off by porno. But there's like maybe a brief shot of nudity, if anything. Okay, one scene with Katie Morgan. Very nice scene at that. But it's not a big deal. It's a funny movie. This is one of Kevin Smith's best.
Right, there wasn't that much, and I agree. It was one of his funniest. Like, honestly, I would put it above Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, and I do love that movie. But this one was funnier. I would give it that. Definitely funnier. It was a funny movie. It did okay for Kevin Smith movies, but it didn't do nearly with what it should have. And it was Kevin Smith and Seth Rogen, so it was a great combination.
Yeah.
I agree with you. It was funny. Very funny. I quote it all the time. This is some good coffee.
Hug it. Chug it. Football. All night.
And
Plus, it introduced me to... All these years I had that live album from the band Live.
Mm-hmm.
I never knew about the hidden bonus track till I saw this movie. Because I never actually played it all the way through. I just would stop the song. It was a CD. You stop the song sometimes.
Right.
And when I saw this movie, heard that song, I needed it. I needed it. And I found out I had it this whole time. It was a good day.
And in this movie, we even learned what it means to get frosted like a cake.
Trust me, the horror stories I've been hearing about getting frosted on set.
Okay, let's...
Yeah. This movie made it funny. I love the dynamic between Craig Robinson and Tisha Martin Campbell. Those two were just too funny for words.
I honestly was disappointed this movie didn't do better just so they could have done an entire movie about those two.
Oh, God, yes.
That would have been so great.
Give us Craig Robinson as a leading man in a movie. Come on.
And have
Make
him,
Peter Dinklage the co-leading man. Those two would be awesome together.
but still, I want a movie about him and his wife and their dynamic because that was great. And then while we're at it, we could have a movie about, Tracy Lords. Barry.
Take it, Barry.
Take it, Barry. Yeah, I agree with you. Underrated movie.
I love Tracy Lords.
For my last overrated, I know this was an Academy acclaimed movie, won a bunch of awards, And I will say it was a good movie until its lousy, lousy ending, which is why I say it's overrated. And that is No Country for Old Men.
I can't argue. I don't feel that way. The first time I saw No Country for Old Men, it's kind of how I felt. I hated it. I thought, oh, this is stupid. But I went back and I watched it again, and I paid even more attention. I realized this is actually a pretty genius film. You just got to really pay attention, and that's not what we watch movies for, though.
No, I went back and watched it a second time, really paid attention, but that ending, I don't think an ending can always kill a movie, but sometimes it really can. And the end of that movie killed it. It was such a bad
I didn't
ending.
care about the ending.
Yeah, the whole Sopranos ending thing, I didn't like it at all. It ruined the entire movie for me. There was no significance behind that ending of just Tommy Lee Jones talking, and then I wake up, black. Like, we don't know anything that happens. We theorize that he killed the girl, but...
Kelly MacDonald?
Yeah,
Yes.
we theorize that he killed her, but it never confirms it. Apparently the director says that, yes, he did kill her, so why couldn't you put that in the movie?
Because we liked her and we didn't want to see her suffer. She was in Train Spotting and Boardwalk Empire. I don't even perv on her, even though I could, because she is such a marvelous actress.
But to
She
me...
was the voice of Brave, Nerida.
Okay, but still...
You
To
don't
me-
want to see her die.
Okay, but still, not just that, but just a lot of stuff, like all this stuff building up, and then nothing. Even the final showdown between him and Josh Brolin's character, it builds it up and builds it up and builds it up, and then, oh, we didn't show it, but he's dead.
It was a metaphor for life. We get a lot of build-up.
I don't need metaphors for life. I want a freaking movie that entertains me.
Yes, sir.
Like freaking, I don't want reality. Okay. Batman versus Superman. I don't believe that somebody like Batman can really take a fight to somebody like Superman, but I want to see it anyway. Freaking metaphor for life. Keep your metaphors. Give me a good movie that actually goes somewhere.
Sport. Calm down.
Okay, seriously, what is with you in this old sport crap?
Oh, no, I saw The Great Gatsby and I thought, hey, I'm fancy now.
Josh, for the last time, you did not watch The Great Gatsby. The Great Gatsby has Leonardo DiCaprio in it.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does, because you watched The Great Splatsby.
Yeah, with Evan Stone.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
One's an Oscar-nominated actor, won many Golden Globes and critically acclaimed, and the other, best he's ever won is an AVN Award.
Quite a few of them. It was still a good show, old sport.
I hate you. No Country for Old Men is overrated.
Yeah.
For our last one, how about it?
Oh, it is my turn.
Yes, it is.
Jolly good. For me, an underrated movie that does have a fan base, but deserves even bigger fan base than it really has. The Frighteners, starring Michael J. Fox, Jake Busey, and Trini Alvarado. You know you like this movie. It was directed by The Hobbit's director.
You know, Josh, just when I think you couldn't possibly get any dumber, you go and bring up a movie like this. And totally redeem yourself! No, all joking aside, yeah, this movie was a fantastic movie, which, when it came out, is saying a lot because, it talks about it. I wasn't very into horror movies growing up at all.
No, he wasn't.
No, they didn't appeal to me. But he got me to watch a little bit of this one by telling me Jake Busey was in it.
Because we like Jake Busey.
I do. I'm a fan of Jake Busey. I'm sad that his career was underrated.
Very underrated.
So I decided I would check it out a little bit, and I basically told him, okay, I'll watch for a few minutes, and if it doesn't appeal to me, I'm getting up and I'm leaving. 5 minutes into the movie, I'm hooked. I can't look away from the screen. This is a movie that I love. I'm eventually going to review this movie. It's one of my favorites.
Good.
The Frighteners is a good movie. And you're right, it does have a niche cult fan base, but it should have a huge cult fan base. It should be one of those movies that they're doing conventions about, all by itself.
Oh, yeah. They should have given us a sequel. A TV show.
Yeah.
But not yet. Let's wait for all the wokeness to die down first. Then let's get this going.
That movie, I agree with you. Michael J. Fox was great as a protagonist. It was something out of his comfort zone. You know, he never had done something that was like this serious and horror film kind of thing. Jake Busey was fantastic as the villain. It was a great, great movie. Like I said, gonna review it someday because this movie... I'm okay with the fact that they have conventions for Troll 2, but how does Troll 2 get conventions but the Frighteners doesn't?
It ain't right, man.
It ain't
That
right.
ain't right.
It ain't right.
This film had the mom from Critters in it. Dee Wallace, of fame like The Howling, Critters. Of course, other films like Cujo. Almost said Cougar because that's what she was back then. You know what I mean.
Great premise, in my opinion, of like, what if one of those serial killers in the past, the ones that was like concerned about their numbers, guys like Carl Panzram, what if he was able to keep killing after he died?
Beyond the grave.
Yeah. Great, fantastic movie. I gotta agree with you there. Very, very underrated. So there you have it. The Willard remake, underrated. Field of Dreams, overrated. Animal House, overrated.
Underrated.
Zack and Miri make a porno, underrated. No Country for Old Men, overrated. And The Frighteners, definitely underrated.
Mm-hmm.
There you have it. I hope you guys enjoyed this overrated, underrated. If you did, make sure to hit like, hit subscribe, hit the little bell so you get notifications when we post new videos.
And if you disagree with him, please tell us.
Go ahead. I'm not going to share my opinion, but go ahead. Leave a comment. Tell us if you agree or disagree with our overrateds and underrateds. Love you guys.